Welcome back, everyone. In today's driveway drop-offs, we got this 1996 Murray 22-inch lawnmower here. This was dropped off by my friend Rick, the scrap guy. We got any Murray fans out there? I'm one of them. So we're going to go through and we're going to see about getting this thing up, see if we can get this up and running again. Apparently this lawnmower here, according to Rick, from what he knows, has been sitting for about 10 years. So we will go through our process and hopefully we're going to be able to resurrect this Murray and get it up and get it going. We're here working inside the shop. It's getting that time of year right now up here in Michigan. It's 31 degrees outside and it is spitting snow, and it is this, with the wind, it is brutally cold outside. So we'll stay in here where it's warm. Well, here's a close-up look at this. The deck on here appears to be in really good shape. I don't see any cracks in it where they normally do on here in the wheel castings. The blade is intact on it and the motor's not set up, so we're already ahead in that aspect. And this has got the 3.75 horse Sprint Briggs & Stratton. Everything appears to be original. There's your code right there for 96. She's overall pretty good shape. It's too bad that tag is all faded out for the stamping on the deck itself. The safety valve works on it, and this even has a throttle control on it too. I won't go tugging on that too much till we lube it up. We'll see what happens here. Take a look down inside the gas tank here. Ooh. Now there's some stuff down inside that gas tank. So first order of business we're going to do is, I'm not even going to try to start this thing knowing there's stuff inside that gas tank. So I will go ahead and pull this carburetor off on this, and we'll go through and clean this really good. Before we do anything, let's make sure it's got oil in it. Of course, I just tipped it on its side, so that ain't gonna be right. No, I'm seeing oil in it, so that's a good sign. First order of operations, let's get this air filter off. Yeah, it's pretty nasty and dirty, as you can see there. We'll take and clean this up and see if we can save this filter or not and re-oil it. If not, we will just replace it. A little bit of dirt and debris around here. And just for a good measure right now, being this has been sitting apparently for 10 years, I'm going to go ahead and just quick pull this blower shroud off, just to make sure there's not a mouse nest in there. We don't need to start this thing up and have it catch on fire or smoke the engine right off the bat, you know. Okay, well that's all cleared off now. That wasn't too bad, so that was good. So we'll start pulling the carburetor off. So far so good. Everything's coming apart pretty decent on this. Alright, we'll go ahead and take this apart over at the bench and get this in the cleaner. Alright, moving along. I'm going to get this carburetor blasted apart so we can get it in the tank and get cleaning. I'm not going to show you step by step what I do to clean one of these carburetors. I actually have a video that I'll post at the end of this one if you would like to see that for this type of carburetor, how to disassemble it and clean it. Look how hard this diaphragm gasket on this carburetor is. Holy smokes. Yeah, another reason just as well we're going through on this. Yeah, it's definitely not pliable like it should be. Yeah. Something else on this carburetor, your primer bulb on here, this was just so hard, and when you'd push it in it wouldn't bounce back. So I'm also putting a different primer bulb on here as well. Alrighty, all back together. We'll go over and stick this thing on the lawnmower. Alright, that's put on there now. Our linkage and everything is working like it's supposed to. Pleased with that. Nothing binding up. You always want to check that stuff. Now here's another tip that I like to do when I pull these off when they've been sitting and going through the carburetor. You got your plastic intake manifold here that goes to the block. Now let's take a 1/4 inch nut driver here and just kind of snug it a little bit. As you can see, I just turned it a little bit. Just because through time, you know, this is plastic on aluminum with a constant heating and cooling contractions. It can loosen up a little bit, as you can see. I just do this to avoid any possible air leak that could cause it to have a stumble to it. So the carburetor is back on. So now we'll go ahead and put our shroud back on here. Just like that. Now we got this god-awful air breather over here. I'm going to take this over the wash tank and clean this out the best I can, see if we can save it, or if not, we'll just replace it. Okay, well, this is a new filter we're putting in there. That foam filter that was in this was just completely shot. I'm not oiling this right now like I normally do because, yeah, once this is up and running, this little Murray here, she's going to be for sale. So if anybody has a interest possibly in this mower, jump in your boat and take a trip out on the bay and you'll find it. Say I'm leaving this throttle cable off it for right now. I have my reservations on that. Possibly I'll need a new throttle cable. Now here's another tip that I do for mowers that have been sitting for a while is I'll take a torque wrench and, you know, these cylinder heads being aluminum on top of an aluminum block with a constant contractions of heating and cooling going on through the years. These bolts can come loose over time. So I just take my torque wrench and I'll take and set it at 20 foot-pounds. You know, that's for a 5/16 bolt. And I'll just snug it. You see, I turned it quite a bit actually there. So these bolts are going to be loose on this. See, as you can see, I'm turning it quite a bit. You know, just kind of do a staggered bolt pattern if you don't have a torque spec for this on, you know, these Briggs & Stratton engines. They're pretty straightforward. Okay, and I'll just work my way around it. Make sure every bolt is tight. All right, they're all snug. All right, now next thing I want to do is, this has been sitting, so I'm going to go get that spark plug out of there. We're going to check that, and I'm going to spray some PB Blaster down inside the cylinder there and work it over so we're not starting this up on dry rings. I use Marvelous Mister Oil, you know, in this case too, for something that's been sitting for a real long time, but we'll use PB Blaster on this. Get this spark plug out of here. Oh, spark plug don't look too terrible on it. I'll take it over and we'll clean it up and check the gap on it before we put it back in. But first, got the old shot blaster, PB Blaster. Just put some of that down there inside of that cylinder with a piston there. All right, we'll work that around in there. Yeah, that little starter recoil on there's a little slow, isn't it? Once we start using it again, she'll recoil. Alrighty. Quickly go clean this spark plug up real quick and check the gap on it. Alright, that's all set at 30 thousandths. We'll put this back in. This being a newer motor, I don't got to worry about dealing with points on this as some of the older stuff that I work on. So this is a solid state ignition coil. Most of the time those are good. That's why I didn't bother checking it for spark. All right, well, we're good. Everything's all back together now. So get a little bit of gasoline here and dump in here and see if she'll bark off or not. Won't put too much fuel in it, so see if she pumps fuel. Oh yeah, our primer bulb's pumping up fuel. We're getting shot through it, so good deal. Well, now this thing's sitting flat on the ground. Let's double check the oil on this again and make sure that it's full, since I checked it after I flipped it on its side, which was not the best idea, but alrighty, let's see what it shows now after sitting flat here for about a half hour. Well, I see some oil sloshing around down there at the bottom, so that's good. Well, she is down just a little bit, so I'm just going to top it off a little bit. It's probably down about maybe 4 ounces. All right, here we go. 4 ounces of oil, and as I be brave and not use a funnel pouring this, let's see if I'm good today and not spill any of the oil. Here we go. I'm having an on day today. I didn't spill any oil without a funnel. I'll take it, because there's days that I miss it. I'll take it because there's days that I make a mess. We'll give this thing a tug here, see if she's going to start up or not before we take it outside, because it's cold and snowing outside, so I don't really want to freeze right away. So let's see what we got. Small recoil, one more shot of fuel here. Okay, well, she fired up. Yeah, she's blasting out that yeah, PB blaster I put in the cylinder out of the exhaust pipe. So let's take this outside and we'll fire it up and let it run here for a little bit. Whew. See what I mean up here in Michigan, how it's cold and snowing? That's why we're in the shop. Let's see what she does. Well, it throttles up okay pretty good. Don't sound bad. We'll see if that smoke clears out of it a little bit. And she don't sound too bad. Alrighty, well, this little 1996 Murray 22-inch mower, this was a success. We were able to get this one up and running again, not too difficult. So it's nice getting some that are easy once in a while, and some of them we get, wow, we really got to work at them, get them up and get them going again. But yeah, she's not too bad. Sounds good. She sat out there and run for about 5 minutes, and I shut her down, and she fired right back up again. The smoke started to come out of it, as I figured it would. But hey, if you're just stopping by for the first time and checking this channel out, we do all kinds of stuff like this on the channel. Well, it runs with these driveway drop-offs that we get, and we got a playlist of all kinds of different interesting videos out there you might find you're liking. And those of you that come back and watch the channel on a regular basis, I appreciate you all very much appreciated. So, would you all like to see a preview of what our next driveway drop-off will be? We got this 90s rally lawnmower that come in. This is a 22-inch. This has got that's an oddball there you don't see very often. A 3.8 horse Vantage Tecumseh engine. And this one came from my scrap guy Rick as well. He dropped this off for me the other day. So I don't have a note for you on this Murray we just did and this one as well, because I happened to be here when he stopped by. But we will see if we can get this fellow up and running again in our next video. So, until I see you all again, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. And try not to eat too much out there. I know I'm going to struggle with that, especially when it comes to, you know, the mashed potatoes and stuffing and, you know, the pumpkin pie, all the good stuff that we like. So, we'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone.